Okay, everyone, let's do this. Greetings, my fellow Fright Fiends. It's your buddy Boogeyman Ben here for a new episode of Boogeyman Ben's Horror Zone, and today's video is a tribute video that I wanted to do exactly 1 month ago today. Because of some unforeseen issues that arose in my personal life, I wasn't able to do that. But today I'm very happy to be talking about the Friday the 13th reboot, which came out exactly 10 years and 1 month ago on Friday, February the 13th of 2009. This was a film that I was so excited to see in the theater. It was the first Jason Voorhees film to use the Friday the 13th title since 1989's Jason Takes Manhattan. This was co-produced by both New Line and Paramount, who worked in conjunction with Platinum Dunes to release the film. And the movie had a fantastic cast. I was not familiar with Supernatural when this movie came out, so I wasn't watching it. I'm a big fan of it now, but Jared Padalecki, I think, does a fantastic job as Clay in this film. I also really love Daniel Panabaker as Jenna. And you have Travis Van Winkle, who plays that douchebag asshole Trent in it. He's good at playing an asshole. Aaron Yu as Chewie. You have Amanda Rigetti as Whitney. And then, of course, who cannot say enough great things about Derek Mears, the amazing Derek Mears, who played Jason Voorhees in this film, and is, in my opinion, one of the best actors to play the role. He does a fantastic job in this film. And I still remember opening night seeing this film. It was actually the day before my wife's birthday. My wife's birthday is on Valentine's Day. And it was the same night that I was throwing kind of a surprise get-together for her. But it was my Valentine's Day gift. I said, I have to see this movie opening night. And going to this movie opening night and seeing fathers with their sons, guys that would probably been my age or a little bit older, taking their kids to see this film, being at this communal experience where everybody is screaming and yelling and laughing, and it was just so much fun. It really brought me back to the 80s when I was a kid going to see these films, the original film series. Seeing those films for the first time, it took me right back to that time, and I just absolutely loved it. It was so much fun. My brother-in-law went with us, so was my wife, my brother-in-law, and I, and we just had such a fun time. It was a great film. We were cheering, we were laughing, we were screaming. There was so many great things about this film. I loved the opening. The first 20 minutes of this film, I think, are one of the best Friday the 13th openings ever. Like a mini movie within a movie. And it's before the title card even comes up. You have that whole opening with the characters going to find the weed farm, stumbling across Camp Crystal Lake. It's just, and the performances are so fantastic. Everybody just did a great job in the film, in my opinion. I love the atmosphere, the tension. Even though it was shot in Texas, I really felt like it was shot in like New Jersey, like the original film, or Connecticut, like Part 2. It really had that feel, that backwoods feel, and I just loved what they did with Jason. I mean, he wasn't a zombie in this film. He was somebody that was like a survivalist. I loved how they explained certain things about him, like how he lived off the land, how he got from place to place using the tunnels under Camp Crystal Lake. I mean, it was just so well done, and I loved everything that was brought to this. They had, terrific, action pieces in this film, some terrific gore moments, ton of nudity in it, so it really brought you back. The drug use, everything that made the original franchise so fantastic. And so when I walked out of this film, I said, this is a slam dunk, home run. People that grew up with this franchise like me are just gonna embrace it just like I did. And even though it had one of the biggest opening weekends, I believe it made 42.2 million, I believe. It was one of the biggest opening weekends for a reboot. It beat The Grudge, which I think had 39 million. People didn't embrace it. There was a lot of backlash towards this film. A lot of people that grew up with the original franchise slammed this film and said that, it was there was too much nudity in it, and there was too much drug use, and that Jason was a weed farmer, and all these things that were just so ridiculous. And this film, for me, is still one of the best films in the franchise, and for me, it beats the original by a mile. I respect the original, and I've said that when I did my breakdown of, how I would rank the franchise. But yeah, this one I think is so much more fun, and the original is great because of what the groundwork that it laid for the franchise. But for me, this one is just it's so much more fun, and I can't say enough great things about it. I mean, I cannot believe it's been 10 years. I can't believe that in 10 years we haven't gotten a sequel. I mean, Damian Shannon and Mark Swiffer had a sequel ready. It was going to put Jason in the snow, which is what everybody wanted to see, Jason at Camp Crystal Lake in a winter setting, and it just didn't happen. It's just like Freddy vs. Jason versus Ash. They just, for some reason, they couldn't get these films off the ground. Because the film opened so huge and then dropped off, the second weekend, the studios, because they had to share, New Line and Paramount split the profits for it, and they didn't know if it was beneficial to make another one right away. But, here we are, and now we got the lawsuit with Victor Miller and Sean Cunningham going on, and it's just a shame that we haven't seen another Jason movie in 10 years. I mean, 10 years and counting, and doesn't look like we might get one anytime soon. I know there's been rumblings about LeBron James producing one. This is the time, I feel, to capitalize on Friday the 13th after the huge success of the new Halloween film last October. And I hope that things get wrapped up and we can get a new Jason film in the next year or two, because the iron is hot right now. Slashers are in again, and I'm hoping that we will see Jason back up on the big screen again. But this film is just, it came out at the perfect time. I had already been a horror collector and I'd already been a huge fan of Friday the 13th, but this is kind of when I noticed that toy companies like Mezco and NECA and Funko, all of a sudden this Jason stuff just started coming out. It was almost like to fill the void. Because I didn't really see it until maybe a couple years after the film came out, but it really filled the void of no new Jason films coming out. And then, of course, we got the Friday the 13th video game. But like the t-shirt I'm wearing, this was the t-shirt that I bought at Hot Topic. One of the first Jason shirts I've ever owned. And I still have it, and I still wear it all the time. But, these were the shirts that I was finding in stores. Or the mask that I got. This is something I don't show very much on camera, but this is from NECA, and this is an exact replica of Derek Mears' mask, the Jason mask that's used in the film. And this is a very, very sturdy, hard plastic. But I absolutely love this piece. I keep it in a display case because it's one that is very expensive, and I got it from somebody that was selling it really cheaply. But yeah, it's one of my prized items, my prized Jason items. And I don't collect a lot of masks. I have 2 hockey masks here in the room, but this is my favorite one that I have. But yeah, it's just like, this is amazing. I have both releases. I have so many versions of this film. I mean, I have it with the box set, but then, this was the first Blu-ray I ever bought. I had to buy this because it had the killer cut and the theatrical cut, plus special features that weren't on the theatrical release DVD. But yeah, I mean, this film means so much to me, and I really don't get the hate from Friday the 13th fans that grew up with the original franchise. I grew up with it and I loved it. It is my favorite remake or reboot of all time. And I really think we took it for granted. We took it for granted getting this film because we've had such a long dry spell without a new Jason film. And I think horror fans are so quickly to dismiss some of these remakes that come out, and I'm guilty of it too. This was a remake that I thought needed to happen. After Jason X, I didn't know where else they could go with the original franchise. And Jason X was kind of just done to keep people aware of Jason and the franchise in between Jason Goes to Hell and them doing Freddy vs. Jason finally. So it was kind of just done as a way to keep fans interested in the franchise and the character. But I really just think that this film needs to be embraced. It's one of the best films in the franchise. It's one of my favorite films in the franchise. Absolutely love it. I have a lot of Jason stuff here in the room from the film. We have a new Ultimate Jason figure coming out from NECA for the reboot, and I'm really looking forward to that coming out. So I'm just glad that, it's kind of cool to go back and reflect on a film that came out a decade ago and realize that I love it just as much as I did the first time I saw it. It was such an amazing experience seeing in the theater, and I hope that I have that experience again where I get to see a new Friday the 13th film with fans that grew up with that original franchise. I mean, we're getting older, so I hope something comes out really soon. I would love to see Jason back up on the big screen. And yeah, this was just one of my favorite movie-going experiences in my adult life. I think it's only second next to Freddy vs. Jason because that was just fucking insane. But yeah, so much fun. Can't say enough great things about it. I'm honored to have some of these amazing items from the film like this. Like I said, this is probably one of my prized items here in the room. But yeah, Friday the 13th reboot. Absolutely love it. Cannot believe it came out 10 years ago. And I'm curious what other people think about this film. Are there other fans out there like me that grew up with the original franchise and don't understand the hate that this film gets? Are there people out there that grew up with the original franchise and absolutely hate it? Yeah, let me know what you guys think. Put it down in the comments section below. Would love to hear from everyone. Also, if you like Jason collectibles, make sure that you guys check out House of Mysterious Secrets. I have a special partnership going on with House of Mysterious Secrets right now. Kevin who runs the site. He's amazing, and I have this 10% off. It's a one-time coupon code use. It's called HZone. So use the code HZone. You'll get 10% off your order. He is going to have the new Friday the 13th reboot figure, the ultimate Jason reboot figure. So that's going to be coming out, I believe, in April. So pre-order it now on House of Mysterious Secrets. He also has a lot of other cool Jason-related items, like the new Roy Burns figure, ultimate figure that's coming out. A lot of cool stuff. Link down below. Remember, use the code HZone, 10% off. And that is going to be it for me. I'm sorry that this video is a month late. But again, I've had a lot going on, and I'm really playing catch up, and I'm really finally glad that I was able to do this and talk about one of my favorite movies in my favorite franchise. Friday the 13th Reboot. Absolutely fantastic. Can't say enough great things about it. So I'm curious what everyone else thinks. Leave your comments down below. Would love to hear from everyone. And stay tuned for some more great videos coming real soon. Take it easy. Stay scared as always. Peace. I have a Patreon page. If everybody wants to help support me, the link is down below. And if you do help support me, Dracula here will get more treats, and Dracula really loves his treats. So any support that you can give me would be very, very much appreciated. Right, Drac?